just changing the air cleaner add more power? Well, welcome back everybody. In this episode of Aston1936.com, I've returned to visit with Travis of Snail Performance up here at M45 Motorsports in Auburn, California. We're going to be doing the next in a series of dyno testing. I've installed a Velocity AP GT4 Airbox Delete Kit. You can check out my other video somewhere up here to basically see how to install that. But I wanted to find out if it actually has a performance gain. So the only way to really tell is to bring it in and put it back on the dyno. You can check out my other video on the baseline test we did a few weeks ago. We're in pretty similar weather today, and we're going to see what kind of power it pulls. So in the previous baseline test, we produced 376 peak brake horsepower and 268 peak foot-pounds of torque. And one of the things we're also interested in is, does this change improve the average horsepower? And if I remember it properly, we did about 277 brake horsepower on average and 328 foot-pounds of torque. So if we could get a good improvement in average horsepower, that'd be cool. But let's see what we get. Ought to be fun. It's loud, it's cold, it's really cool. As visceral as that was to be in the room watching, Travis is going to be kind enough to take me through the results again. And so what are we seeing here? We've got two runs on screen.
Okay, so we have, I kind of use the mouse, hopefully you can see it. So this line right here is our torque line, and this line right here is our horsepower line. Basically what I did is I split it up to where run 1 is in red, and that's after you modified and did the intake setup. And then run 2 is the blue line. That's the run that we did prior to kind of get our baseline.
Okay, so red's the new one, blue's the old one, the baseline.
Yep.
So it looks like there are some differences.
So I think, like I was saying before, I didn't think it was going to be too much of a peak power increase, which we can see here. We gained decimal points of power and a little bit of torque. So not too bad. I mean, a couple foot-pounds here, so that's not bad.
So there's both. So this is the maximum. So
this is our max. So this is our peak numbers that the dyno recorded during the pool.
So peak horsepower is absolutely the same, basically.
Basically, yeah.
And the torque is up maybe 2.5, 3 foot-pounds, but you know that's pretty small.
That's pretty small.
Points. Yeah.
Yeah, something that if someone could feel that, I'll be impressed. But like we were saying last time, the average is what we really like to see. So our average, we actually see a little gain here. Gaining some average power on an NA car is definitely nice to see. I mean, we went from 272, so 0.6, so say 273, round it to 275 to round that up.
So a couple of horsepower of average power.
Correct.
And then it's looking,
same thing for the torque, about the same gain.
So 2.5, foot-pounds of torque on average. And that's visible in the torque, in the graphs, right?
Yeah, so you can see it down here. So the biggest thing on our average is right now, the way we have it set up is it's taking the average from this whole entire run, which as you can see up top right here, this is where it's kind of killing us. The blue line is definitely above the red, so that's kind of killing our average gain. 90% of the people, like we were talking, are not going to be up in this area. So to get a real good look over the entire curve, what we'll do is we'll rescale the graph. And we're going to go to the 52-52 split where the horsepower and torque cross over. So we'll change that, and then we'll get our average of power and torque back. Now we can see where probably 90% of someone that's going to drive this car is going to be using it, from, the low end of 2,000 maybe to about 5,000 RPMs where they're normally driving it. We see a good, nice little average split and everything. I mean, we went up, another 3, 4, and then same thing right here, from 328 up to 332. But then you could really just look at the graph. I mean, you can see the blue line is definitely under the red line in a lot of spots. I mean, there's a little bit right here in this general area where the blue kind of wins out the race, but for the most part, the red line's above there.
So from about 2,500 RPM up to 3,500 RPM, it looks like the new Airbox Delete and air filter kit actually gives us a noticeable difference of
we're seeing a nice noticeable difference. See, we can go to, let me get the free range cursor here. So we went from, say, about right here at 306, and then we up to like 313. We got a little dip here, 313, then it goes up to 319. Probably this looks like the biggest split. So on torque, this is all torque right here. So 296, and we're up to like 306. So that's your torque gain right through here.
So 7 to 10 foot-pounds of torque at the actual, down in some usable RPMs that I would actually might be using driving around more regularly. And was there anything in that same sort of region here for the horsepower?
Yeah, so horsepower, we can see, let me free range this, so we're right around 139 at about 2486, and then we're up to 144.
So maybe 5 horsepower down at that RPM, which is not bad actually.
If you're cruising around town in regular drive and not flapping through the gears with the flappy paddles, I mean, the car is going to be shifting in this area, so you're definitely going to see some nice little low-end grunt from the car down there.
Well, that was a lot of fun. So we'll be back probably in a week or two after I do the next step of performance improvement. I'm going to fit the secondary cat delete kit, and we'll come on back and see how it compares to this run and the baseline. So if you like videos like this, you can probably check it out, the baseline test up here. Down here you'll find the companion blog. It'll probably take you over to the site where you can see all the detailed numbers. Please subscribe if you like videos like this, and as always, I love to hear your comments. Please leave those down below. Thanks for watching.